Well, anyway.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Fire Talk Radio, flight number 29. And on this flight, we are carrying new Bud Light next with a side of Fresca. So enjoy. Your snack for the day is pretzel sticks and hope. Remember, your seats are flotation devices. We are flying at an altitude of 10, so we are just skimming the ground. Please remember, keep your feet up off the ground. Holes may appear. And again, enjoy our flight, and we will see you at the end of the runway.
I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to. I'm back.
See, I told you God did that.
Yay!
I didn't die. God just hates me because he's putting plagues on me. What did I get? In December, I got strep.
Yeah.
In January, I got COVID. In February, I get a sinus infection.
Well, I mean, if you manage to punch out the plague of frogs, the locusts, and the Potomac, flowing red.
Blood in the river, yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I mean, there's still more months to go. It's going every month, so next month I'll be interested to see what happens. Although, you want to know what happened? Did you guys see the chat today about my car?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
man, that's grim. That's just grim.
Dude.
Suspension
So-
work. Yeah.
I mean, I
So
do believe that part is supposed to still be attached to the car.
It is. So, yeah. So, my car was running weird. And over the weekend, I'm driving it. And of course, Michigan, you hit patches of ice and stuff, but never had a problem. It's not even like icy. It's like, snow blow over and a little bit of ice. So, I'm all of a sudden, my car's fishtailing. And I'm like, man, why do I have no control? It's like I have no alignment or anything. And
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
that
I-
explains why.
me and Kelly my wife were going on a date, and we were going to a bar that we love, has great food, and they were so packed, they said that it was like an hour and 45-minute wait. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I would never stay for that.
so we ended up at Applebee's. Like, not the most romantic date, but they got us in.
Were the kids there? Because if they
No,
weren't,
they-
it was a very romantic date.
No, he said it was on a date.
Hello.
You got to talk into the mic.
Hello.
Yeah, we have the child on, so this is going to be slightly entertaining.
Yeah, well, we got to get 10-year-olds view on things. So anyway, so we get there, we park it, and I look at the back wheels, and I'm like, why are the wheels tilted inwards at the top? That shouldn't be good. So on our date, I make an appointment at the tire company because they do wheel alignments and shocks and struts and stuff. And so I make an appointment online for today. I go down there and I sit down. 15 minutes later, the guy comes and goes, yeah, you're going to want to come back and see this. This isn't good. I'm like, oh, shit. So I walk back with him, and he that my wheels are not attached to the car. Like, the only thing that's kind of holding them together is the spring for the shocks. That's the only
God.
attachment point.
That's no bueno.
No. I'm like, what in the hell? He's like, yeah, so that right there, that's your frame of your car, and your, and he's pointing stuff out. I'm not a car guy, so I don't know everything that he was saying, but basically it rusted through, and I must have hit a pothole or something at some point and jumped it enough that it just crashed it right out. And he goes, I can't touch this. You're going to have to go to a body shop. Okay. I call around to a body shop. Body shop number 1 won't touch it. Body shop number 2 won't touch it. Body shop number 3 won't touch it. Put it out on Facebook like, does anybody know who will fix this? Nobody will touch it. Because it's
Yeah,
more of a
you're shit out of luck,
liability.
dude.
Yeah, it's unibody. It's kind of they built one chunk of steel, and if it's not a contiguous chunk of steel, it's not going to work anymore.
It's not
So-
gonna do the thing.
I'm hoping somebody will contact is like, yeah, as long as you don't sue me, if something happens, I'll do it for you. But until then, I'm like, damn it. This summer I traded in my truck. I sold my truck actually, so that I could get a cheap, $5,000 vehicle that I'd much rather, pay to have it repaired rather than paying $500 a month in payments. And this is
You
what
should go
happened.
find yourself a Ford Ranger. They're like indestructible.
If I'm getting a Ford, I get an F-150. That's all I get. That's what I had
Oh, man, you
before
got a
was
Ford
an
Ranger.
F-150.
And that's what
Yeah, you
and
Ford
that's what
Ranger.
you always get.
Yeah, that's what I always get. I love F-150s. And we're a Ford family, so the fact that I don't have a Ford
Oh,
right now,
well,
that I
then-
have a Honda, is,
Not affordable because it can't drive.
well. The bad part about it is I even had it looked over by a mechanic, but of course he didn't check that part because who the hell checks the frame? He looks it over, he's like, dude, this engine and everything's in great condition with this engine. You got another at least 150,000 miles on it.
But
And I'm like,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah,
Buddy.
kiss that frame goodbye.
But he didn't check that part.
well, they normally
Oh.
don't. So
No, who
All right.
Yeah,
checks
it's not
the... Yeah,
All right,
and then
so
of course every body shop, or like 3 of the 4 body shops that I called today said, oh yeah, Hondas are known for this. I'm like, I
they're
didn't
like,
know that.
This is why I don't buy Hondas.
What you may want to try is see if you've got like a Votech school or a welding school nearby.
that's what I told him earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Brian just
Yeah.
said that beforehand.
I told him, I was like, you should see if there's a trade school or a Votech school near, and
Like,
then
I'll pay you
have them do it as a
$300
project.
to weld, because I'm like, just weld the plate on there over the holes. Because you can't, like, the hole is so big, like, you can't, like, just put the piece back up and weld it, because it's like a bolt type of thing. So you'd have to fabricate a plate, drill a hole through it, put that on, and then weld the plate on.
I mean, my concern would be the fact that if the where the suspension attaches is kind of the beefiest steel they put on a car, and if that failed, I think you've got bigger problems on that frame.
Yeah.
I don't care, as long as I can still drive it.
Well, I'm
For a
saying you
while.
probably can't still drive it.
If I can get it fixed up enough that I can drive it for a while.
Before you have to
It wouldn't be something I'd be
relying.
relying on.
Inspected. I'm not getting it inspected again. No one's inspecting this. When it's time for
Oh,
me
no,
to sell
no one's
it,
gonna fucking touch you
I'll
with a 10-foot
sell it
pole.
for parts.
That's what you do.
But we need a vehicle now, and
Oh, and
Hey,
of
everyone's
course,
looking for dude. I'll
I
tell you right now, people are going to be looking for those Honda motors.
wonder if I can find a Honda body and just throw my motor in it.
it's not a terrible plan there, actually.
Not a bad idea.
Oh my god.
Find a frame.
Yeah, I mean, somebody must have an engine that seized, and they're like, this is scrap value.
Yeah.
And then pay someone to take the engine and tranny out of yours that can't fucking go anywhere, and then put in the one that can go somewhere. There's an idea.
It
Yeah.
sounds so easy.
I know
Yeah.
it
Something I
sounds
can do,
easy,
but
but it's an idea,
I
and
can
you can do a lot with an idea.
Yeah.
I can change my oil. I can now replace the brakes. That's about the extent.
I
Air
just
Well,
filter.
I
just think my dad's
wouldn't
tutorial
try
was
to do
really
the engine
things.
tranny pull and put back in. because that shit's heavy.
Well, they have special lifts for them.
Yeah. Do you honestly know what you're doing?
Hell no. That's why I would have to
Yeah.
have someone else do it.
Bingo.
That's why I said the only thing I can do is change my oil and brakes.
And the brakes took a freaking long while when you did it last time.
They did. That crate sucked.
Oh man.
Yeah,
He tried to censor himself.
My wife, the last time I changed brakes on my wife's, she rode that thing for so long there was no padding left at all, and the caliper welded itself to the what's it called?
Yeah,
plate.
the drum.
Yeah, welded itself to that. So I had to take a sledgehammer and beat the thing because I couldn't get either of them off. I had to get the caliper off before I could get anything else apart. Then I talked to somebody when I had to go buy new ones, and they're like, "Oh, you should have just taken a blowtorch to it and heated the whole thing up." And then I'm not a mechanic, and I didn't know the blowtorch trick. Not to mention,
Now you do.
Don't
the
know a
gas tank
blowtorch.
is right there, and I don't trust myself.
This is why I drive down to the Toyota dealership and they take it and they do the things and then I get it back and it's glorious.
Yeah, I'm boring. I kind of buy cars and I just drive it until the wheels fall off. I don't deal with like a previous owner ever. Yeah, my car is 12 years old, but it runs like the day I
Thing
bought
is, Sean was the previous owner to the 12-year-old car.
But the thing is, that was the point of this vehicle was I'll just drive this until I have to scrap it.
Yeah.
And
But
Yeah.
it's
well, they're
early
planning on
Scrapped
it
it.
being less than 6 months.
Yeah, and I
You
had
know,
so many
Chase
of those in
looks like a
college.
really
Oh my
bad
god.
creep. He leans over and his face shows up right in between your microphone and your boom mic.
Yeah, it's like right there in the corner.
Yeah.
No, I had a series of really crappy cars in college that just like from there on it's just like as long as I can do it, I'm just going to buy a new car and not deal with previous owner drama.
You know, I thought I had a crappy car. I actually had a hold of a Honda DeSoul way back in the day. Fuck, it's 60 miles to the gallon. I could put like $5 in it and it would last me forever.
Mm.
I thought that thing was just like a piece of junk, but that thing just would not die.
Well, that's why I bought a Honda was because the
Newer Hondas die. It's the old ones.
well, this was a 2008, but it also drove in Michigan and we salt all our roads. Every car gets rusted out.
Yeah.
Right,
Every
right.
car.
Pennsylvania's the same way.
So,
We have a garage though. I got to
Um,
pressure wash my cars when it warms up. That's gonna be fun.
well, that's the problem is you have to wash your car like twice a week in the winter if you want to keep the salt from and get the bottom blast and everything. Well, who has time for that all the time? Like, you know, the car wash that I go to that's by us is one of them. You use your own wand and you wash it yourself because the car washes around that do the bottom blast aren't around anymore. So
I'll never forget my brother was sailing in for my first wedding and he was stationed down in like Georgia or something. So he had to drive all the way up to Delaware. And the man had just broken his leg. And so he was driving with a cast and he was coming in and he finally pulls into the hotel where we're doing this whole thing. And both mirrors on his car ripped right the hell off. I'm like, what happened? It's like, it's a car wash, man. I went through, and for whatever reason, this particular car wash ripped both mirrors off his car.
I
would've
used
been
to
like,
work at a car
Yeah,
wash
and
when
then I
was
got
in
out to
college.
get the damn mirrors, and look what it did to my leg.
I used
He
to
was
work at a
totally
car
stuck
wash.
because he's like, I can't go out and finagle with it because I'm walking out here in a cast. He went to go replace it, and they're like, the guy on the other end of the phone, back in the days before you internet and stuff, used to do it over 800 number. It's like, man, I've heard people are having to replace one mirror, but two? Damn.
Yeah, I used to work at a car wash, and I've seen it a few times. My record, when the car wash closed, many years after I left, me and one of the days that I worked still had the record for the most cars washed in a day. And I believe it was like 1,100 and some cars that we watched that day.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah, they were lined up, so like at nonstop the whole day. Oh, it was crazy. But looking back, I'm like, I want that plaque. Damn it!
You must have been really tired after that.
I was tired. It was winter. I was wet, and of course, you're spraying hot water on cars, and then walking outside, and you want to talk about getting sick a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that we're
So-
done with all the fun stuff here, so this is episode 29 of Fire Talk. Again, our website is Fire Talk Network or firetalkradio.com. Same thing with our Facebook. Our email is firetalknetwork@gmail.com. If you ever want to leave us a voicemail, it's 814-380-9820. And you can find us on all streaming services except for Pandora. Please listen, enjoy, have fun, leave a comment. We're also, when we record on Monday nights, we are live on YouTube because it backs up our video stream while Sean has a marble in front of his screen.
I just lost my marbles. It's
You do look like what's his name from Hook, Toodles. Who, lost his marbles. Yeah, gotta get an old person joke in here.
old. Oh, I'll give you an old joke. Dinosaur fell out of a tree. Ha ha ha.
That was so bad.
But here's the thing: is when jokes are bad, it just makes them funnier.
Indeed.
It's all about the punchline, kid. It's all about the punchline. So,
All right,
What are we
all
gonna
right.
talk about
So you want to
today?
get into some hard news first?
do we want to do the serious topics first, or do we want to do a light one first
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then go
Let's
into
do
serious?
serious first, and then we'll do.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do this in order slightly. We're going to talk about a little bit of Ukraine. It's been all over the place.
Well,
Russia-
mainly in the Ukraine.
mainly in the Ukraine. It is absolutely horrible what is happening to Ukraine. What Putin is doing is basically flexing, thinking, yes, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and see. And we all know the Cold War never ended. It just got put on a very long pause. In my eyes, this is Putin deciding to reactivate the Cold War.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is Putin did this in 2008 when he went into Georgia. He did it with Crimea in 2014. He basically annexed Belize. He annexed what other country out there? Am I not remembering?
He tried to annex Moldova
Moldova. Thank you.
and
Yeah.
Chechnya
And
and Kazakhstan and
Yeah. So he's to Putin. Russia doesn't exist to Putin. It's still the USSR, and he's trying to rebuild it back to that. Anything that he said about, oh, we're doing peacekeeping or such and such is independent and all of this, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. We knew for months that
Yeah.
they were building up to invade. At least from November. I know that
See,
there's
I
reports coming out
thought
that they were building
Ukraine-
up forces for an invasion.
See, I thought Ukraine was part of NATO. Doing a little bit of research, they are fast tracking them to join NATO. So that's why all the NATO troops are right now on the borders of Ukraine, waiting to be able to go in to give assistance.
it's a little complicated because in order to actually join NATO, you have to be at peace with all of your neighbors.
Yeah,
And as soon as Ukraine made overtures to join NATO and reform its government so that it would conform to NATO's requirements, that's when Russia started the shit with, we're going to steal Crimea and we're going to fund slash man slash weaponize two of your republics on the east so that you no longer have a peaceful border.
Right. And, the hard part, geopolitically in that area too is, we're putting sanctions on them. The UN's put sanctions on them. We froze their assets. Germany, as of yesterday, I heard Germany and Italy are finally joining the sanctions. But it took them a long time because they get, what was it, 60% of their
60,
power.
It was like some weird. It was like 60-70% from Russia.
From Russia. So if they sanction Russia too hard themselves, they're cut off and they're hurting.
So I was looking at the sanctions that the U.S. is doing. I'm not saying what they're not doing is correct, but they're forgetting one more sanction, and that's to their oil production.
Right.
Because we're still buying Russian oil. The U.S. is still buying the Russian oil. That needs to stop during this, because all that is doing is just giving them money.
Well, the other part is sanctions, and we learned this with Iran. Sanctions don't do that much as long as the country has another country they can use as a kind of like a launder the money through. So in this case, we can sanction Russia, but if China doesn't sanction Russia, then they
China
just
already
get their
has.
money
China
from
stopped.
China.
China
We're still
froze their
paying China.
banks. Yeah, was it China announced today they were actually freezing their banks to Russia?
Okay. So I
right
didn't know
now-
about that today.
And then their Russian stock market dropped. I think it was like 15 points today.
30%.
30. Yeah, 30. It was some ridiculous number.
I don't remember what the points were, but I know it was 30%. And they
It's
just
enough
cut
to
it
make
off
a
at
huge
like noon
difference.
today.
But it's enough to make a difference to where Putin says that they have a nest egg. And it's like, that's the one thing about nest eggs is they tend to run out when you're banking on them.
But you also have to remember, Putin's not worried about losing any power. Like a lot of countries, especially the ones in the EU and that's part of NATO, including the US, we vote in and out and change our leaders. So if somebody sanctions the US and makes the hurt on the people of the US, their leaders will fear that. I'm not sure Putin fears that. He's got the money himself. He's got the power. He's not really worried about people.
I hate to say it. I actually
revolting against
understand
them.
why Putin's doing it, but I can't condone what he's doing. He doesn't want NATO right on their border. That's the main reason why he's screwing with Ukraine. He's trying to push that border further west.
And I don't want to have pollen when I step outside.
This is very true.
But
Did you say pollen or pollen?
pollen,
Pollen.
the stuff that gets in your nose, it makes you sneeze. Tree
pollen,
sperm.
yeah. Okay.
Tree
Okay.
sperm. Yeah.
Stuff that makes you sneeze and burns the shit out of your nose.
Right. So,
I mean, I could move to Arizona, or I could burn everything around me for 30 miles.
I don't think your neighbors would appreciate that, Sean.
well, that's what he's trying to get at, though.
Yeah. It's like
No, I'm not saying he's not wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But that is his logic, though. That is Putin's logic, is that he doesn't want NATO that close to his border.
Well, I mean, think of it this way: Simpsons, in their infinite wisdom, saw this
The
coming.
Simpsons called it again.
The
They
Soviet
always
Union
do.
will be pleased to offer amnesty to your wayward vassal.
The Soviet Union? I thought you guys broke up.
Yes, that's what we wanted you to think.
Let him come back.
Mass crash capitalism.
I mean, Lenin
Well
coming back to
played.
life kind of makes sense. I could see that happening.
So,
I mean, if Russia, if any country could to cryostasis regeneration, that'd be Russia.
right. Um, but I mean, so there's a TikToker that she's Russian born. I follow her on TikTok. She's the one I played a couple clips, how to say such and such in Russian, how to say fuck you in Russian
Yeah.
and stuff. And she's talking about this. Thankfully, she's in the US. She's US citizen. She came over when she was a teen, but she has family still in Russia. And, she had some stuff to say that I think from her point of view is really, really good. So.
A lot of people obviously hating on Russians right now, and main question is why don't people rise up against Putin? Putin spent 22 years to make people miserable. People are poor and people simply scared. Everyone who tried to do something against him will end up either in jail or dead. We don't have opposition in Russia. The only person who actually tried, it was Navalny, and where he's at, he was poisoned and he survived, so now he's in jail. And you have to understand, we don't have the same freedom in Russia as we have here in USA. We don't have guns in Russia. Literally, like maybe 10% of population have the guns. So how are they gonna rise up against Putin?
And that's where the Second Amendment in the United States Constitution is very valuable. The right
Yeah.
to bear arms.
It's valuable against
Not-
your own
not-
government.
just
If you
remember,
have,
not-
a Putin-like figure.
Just remember, it's not the right to arm bears, but it's just bear arms.
What it is you.
So I don't have to
find a
shave.
bear and put their arms on.
Yes, you do not have to shave.
Especially my arms.
You.
Or if I want to, I can have bare arms.
This is
Right.
right.
How scary would that be if you saw somebody walking down the road and he's got big old giant bear arms, bear mitts for hands, and bear arms? Would you mess with him?
I feel like if I messed with him, I
Grizzly
think
bear
I would
arms,
die.
black bear arms, or polar bear arms.
Well,
Well, I mean, you're gonna get shot if you have black bear arms around the South.
So you gotta go with grizzly. I mean, go with the one that's gonna mess you
Oh,
up the
no,
most.
polar
Grizzly
bears
or a
are
polar bear. The
nastier.
polar
I
bear and
think
the
I'd want
grizzly are
polar bear
basically the
arms.
same thing. So a few genetic differences because some grizzly bears moved further north and they were in snow. But no, and then she came out actually later with another one where she actually talked about what Putin's doing to the Russians right now. So everyone talks about the invasion part, but not what's actually happening in Russia. Because I think I just saw today 6,000 people were jailed today, were arrested today or this weekend.
Yeah, because they're
6,000
trying to
people in-
protest
Yes.
his actions.
Yeah.
So
Listen to
Putin's just
this.
throwing him in jail.
A little bit about situation in Russia. So they literally just made a law. So if you help Ukraine in any kind, donate money, donate food, repost information, you can be prosecuted and get 20 years of jail.
20
20
years.
for protesting or sending money.
Helping.
They're classifying it as treason. I'm surprised they're not putting him to death.
Well, I mean, they don't want to get up to like having a loose joint in the states, because
I think it's only
Can't
like
put
a
them in
handful
the
of
United
states now.
Or Russia, like they give a shit.
In Michigan, you can have up to 10 ounces of joints on you.
I can have I think I can have up to in PA with the medical. I can have up to 20 on me. I just if they're vapes, they can't be connected to the actual vaporizer.
Yeah. Let me get that correct. If you have a medical card, you can have up to I think it's like 3 pounds or something like that. If you don't have and you're just recreational, it's 10 ounces at your house, and you can't travel with more than 3 ounces of weed. So, but anyway, so that's what that's what they're going through. I mean, the thing is, and this is like what Ryan said, this is the reason for the Second Amendment is it's for us as citizens to be able to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government like what Putin's doing or an invading force.
I gotta actually correct you on several points there.
Sure, bring it on.
All right. At no point has the Supreme Court actually said that the Second Amendment covers individual rights to own firearms. There's that well-regulated provision.
Well-regulated militia.
Oh, so you don't mean like DC versus Heller, where they said that it's an individual right?
I
In
think you should
2008?
probably reread that.
Maybe you should too.
Oh,
Everybody's memory is real fuzzy. But that's-
Madison is also the person that said that individuals have to have the right to have arms so that they are ready to defend themselves against the government.
The
I'm
entire
gonna be honest. The only reason why this got so much flack is actually after Biden became president, because no one gave a shit. As soon as the Democratic Party took office, it was all about getting rid of the guns again.
Well, they did have a bill. I don't think it'll pass.
How far
Never.
did that make it? Not far.
No. But yeah, that's.
Look at Australia.
I mean,
look at
and then there was
Russia,
also
look at
the Supreme
Canada.
Court case in 1913 that although the person lost because he had a sawed-off shotgun, the Supreme Court said that citizens are supposed to be able to have guns according to the Second Amendment that is equal to what the armed forces have. Now they
and I'm going to say that the federal registry that you have to own a machine gun says otherwise.
that's right. When did that come about?
World War II,
Try again.
please.
1984.
Yeah, the
And who
ATF
was
did not-
president in 1984?
It doesn't matter. It wasn't
Reagan.
World War II. Up until 1984, when that came about, the law of the land was that you could have a gun that was equal to what the military had.
No.
Yeah. And the
No.
reason he
It
lost
was
that
not
is because
fully
they couldn't
automatic.
argue, even though they were using sawed-off shotguns in World War One. His lawyer didn't argue that a sawed-off shotgun was used in battle.
Yeah, sawed-off shotgun was used as a
But he didn't
trench-
argue
as a
it,
trench
and so
buster.
in the Supreme Court ruling, they said while the Second Amendment allows people to have the same type of weaponry as military, because this wasn't used by our military, we find that this whatever law in I want to say Alabama it was or something like that stands.
And why did it change in 1984? I'll give you a hint. It's called the Brady Bill.
Right.
And it was passed because a nut with a set managed to mow down the president and a good
a
number
revolver.
of his armed
John Hinckley
guards.
had a revolver. A revolver is not considered semi-automatic.
Okay, but the laws that they passed went beyond owning a revolver. That's what the Brady Bill was, and was passed by, signed by, Ronald Reagan himself.
Right.
So
It doesn't mean anything, though.
It does, because they wouldn't have passed it, and it wouldn't have had such an effect if the Supreme Court had ruled that you are allowed to own military-grade firearms.
Well, the fact that
That's why
that
they
hasn't
still
been
sell
challenged,
AR-15,
and they
but
do,
they're
and in
all
there they say that
semi-automatic.
you
Well,
can
actually,
get them to
AR-15s are
apply-
not military-grade firearms. They are stuck at semi-automatic.
Correct.
Right,
There-
AR-15s
that is
are
the
rifles, no
absolute
different than my
correctness.
hunting rifle. In fact, he
Hello?
was hunting this year with an AR-15.
Hello.
He was deer hunting with an AR-15.
How do I thought we were talking about Russia?
We
We
were,
were.
and to catch us back up,
All right.
there was a statement made that what makes America better is the fact that we own guns,
No,
as opposed to
I
we have a
said that is the
functional
purpose.
democracy.
That is what Russia is doing. What my comment was is what Russia is doing to the population that is trying to protest Russia's actions, since they're all being arrested. That is one of the purposes of why we have. It is one of the good things that we have in our Constitution is our right to bear arms.
And according to
Or-
Madison, the guy that wrote it, the reason is to stop
For a
a
tyrannical
tyrannical
government.
government. So,
That is
in his
in the
words, a
Constitution.
well-regulated militia means anybody between the ages of 18 and 47, I think it was.
I was just
but a
making
well-regulated at the time
comment.
meant people at
Hold
the
on.
ready.
The lady had a comment.
That's
Let's.
okay. Nobody got my joke. It's fine because nobody's listening.
I didn't hear your joke.
We didn't hear you because he was talking over you.
My
Go ahead,
fault.
sweetie.
It's past now.
Oh,
My apologies, Ginger.
Sorry.
You missed it.
So
But that was,
let's
but
get
that's
back
the
to
thing is,
Ukraine.
they have no way to fight back. You know, the people in Kyiv and all of that basically saying, please come get guns and fight them off with us. They sent out tweets on how to make Molotov cocktails.
but they also
Oh, they're
have.
talking about mustard gas and everything.
But they also have in Ukraine the mandatory military service. So
Yes.
they are handing the guns out, but
Hang on.
every male in the Ukraine has had a gun, knows how to field strip it, etc. Because everyone has to serve.
Correct.
As opposed to here, where the only entity that actually provided any kind of, education on how not to shoot yourself and your loved ones was the NRA.
Is the NRA.
Was.
Is
You might want to recheck how they're doing on the whole bankruptcy thing.
They're still around. I'm
active.
still paying them. I'm still an NRA member.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still,
All right,
they're
so-
still around.
The
With
NRA's still
Sean
here.
talking
In fact,
about-
I just applied for a job with them.
Oh,
with
Great.
with the tag on with Sean about the guns and everything with Ukraine. So the current president of Ukraine, actually I have the link. I will
that man
share.
must have a wheelbarrow to carry around his brass balls. Oh my God! It's like
Yeah.
he actually put this out saying if you want to come fight, you must be prior military or prior police. So you have the instructions. So it's like, here's a gun. You already know what to do. They're doing it so they don't have to work on training anybody. So that is the thing. So if anybody in the United States wants to go, you actually go to the Ukrainian embassy. There's an application you fill out, and they actually will be sending you. I actually know like 2 people I know that are former military that are actually leaving.
A friend
at
of
the end
mine
the week.
just signed up too.
There's nothing wrong with it. They're fighting for freedom regardless of whether if it's our freedom or it's their freedom. They believe the Ukrainians have a right to be able to live the way they want to live.
Well, although just a fair warning for anybody who wants a future government job, serving in the armed forces of another country is a pretty short shot to get yourself disqualified to have a security clearance. But
It's
if you just-
volunteering. This is volunteer. You are
Right, but what he's saying is when they get back, if they want to work in government, yeah. That's probably correct.
It's
That's probably correct.
if you're demand enough and or you have a good enough story, you can get around it. But it's not like it's. I mean, yeah, there's nothing legally that prevents you from doing this. It's just there are complications if you want to work with the U.S. government again.
No, I'm not disputing that part whatsoever. I'm just saying if you want to go, that is your decision. You have to, whether you come back or not is because of your decision. I wish everyone the best wishes and wish everybody to come home. Wish there wasn't a war period, because right
Well,
now,
The thing is with the UN, or NATO, not the UN. Russia's actually on the UN. They're on the UN Security Council. Figure that one out.
They managed to veto their own censure. Actually, it was kind of comical.
well, what's also great is that Ukraine. Well, Elon Musk again is helping out Ukraine. They've launched what was it? Their
Starlink.
internet service.
Starlink there,
for
yeah,
them.
and he's sending a bunch of equipment for them.
to get them off the Russians' servers so they can be on their own robust network. I've actually looked in getting Starlink for my own place because
You
it's,
get put
it's
on a wait
available.
list. I have a bunch of friends
nope.
in northern Michigan.
Mine's
a couple
$100
that got it. Yeah, a couple
Right
got
now,
it.
there's no wait list for me. If I wanted it, because of where I live at, I'm in a rural area. I live out in the middle of nowhere. It was like $100 for the system, and then it's like an additional like $80 a month.
Yeah, I have a friend in northern Michigan, really rural, can't get any terrestrial internet. And they wanted Starlink, and they're still on the wait list. They're still using like what is it, Blue Sky or whatever. The really slow
Houston
one
had
is
a good
that's like
system for a while.
56K modem.
Yeah, and I got a
like-
coworker who's out in Marshall, but
Oh, yeah.
the thing is, you go 20 miles further than we are, and it's crickets. So yeah, they're stuck on satellite internet or long distance Wi-Fi or
Yeah,
yeah.
I think they said they were able to get better reception with a Verizon, like the little puck, the little
The
4G.
Verizon Jet.
Yeah, they got better internet with that, but they said, but if you go over 5 gigs a month, holy shit, do they charge you? I'm like, 5 gigs?
Yeah, they have an
That's like a
unlimited
Netflix
jetpack.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's a lot. I hope what comes out of this. I know Chase is worried. My wife, I tried to tell them because they're thinking this is the start of World War III.
That's what mom's tells me, but
I don't think it is. I don't think it will be. I think
It all
If-
depends on what the upcoming actions with Putin keep mentioning nuclear deterrent, which
I know I had a really weird. Let me get to this, and then I want to talk about my weird Facebook conversation with a friend.
oh Jesus.
Well, before we get to that, we'll get to Facebook. I just want to address the nuclear proliferation thing. What has me wanting to wrap myself in tinfoil, lead-coated tinfoil, is that Belarus is petitioning Russia to be able to station missiles in their territory.
Well, no, not only that, in South America right now, in Venezuela, Putin just landed with 2 of their versions of their Black Hawk, or not the Black Hawk, the stealth bombers, their versions of their hypersonic jets that have nuclear capabilities. There's 2, and they're doing testing in the Caribbean, right off our shore. That is where I'm concerned about that, because our anti-air missiles aren't fast enough to keep up with those hypersonic jets.
No, basically we need what Israel has the.
We need to
Iron
be able to
Dome.
fire from the space to get these.
Have several platforms on naval cruisers
No,
that
no.
can basically shoot things from orbit. So a hypersonic missile is no faster than a long-range ballistic missile. It's a freaking cruiser. It's got a crew of 300 people. It
Yeah.
can only travel at 40 odd knots. It can only be in so many places at once.
Right.
Yeah. I know a friend of mine who's actually on that boat. They're actually leaving Norfolk tonight for the Caribbean. But they're staying right off the coast of Florida because they don't want to enter Caribbean to make it look like we're coming to
It's
Florida twice.
Cuba, probably. The
Yeah.
Caribbean's
Yeah.
a bit friendlier. The Cuba is in the Caribbean, but
No,
it's
he's in
the
Venezuela.
Caribbean.
They said he's in Venezuela. His plane landed with those two
Yeah, but it's not big
It's
much of
our
a shot for
bombers
Venezuela
landed
to
in
take it up
Britain
to-
today
take stuff
also.
up to Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Cuba's the one that's particularly friendly with Russia.
Yeah.
Venezuela is an odd choice, but then it's kind of
It's-
Venezuela
I
is
think
like an
it's caused-
asterisk when you talk about like, is there actually a government there or not?
Yeah, no, I think it's more for the distance for the runway to get the jets up and into combat speed. That's what it looks like from the angle from a military map stance. It looks like it's so they can be able to get going and up into the atmosphere to get their location. I think that's what I think overall that's what it looks like. It's not 100% accurate or anything, but just as a perspective. So
And-
no, I mean the thought of possible World War III coming it's not, but the question is, will the U.S. get involved? Is the ultimate question.
Well,
Because right now the United States is DEFCON 2, so our soldiers that are already over there are prepared within the next few hours, and that was 5 hours ago.
and
when
that
they
brings me
announced
to that's actually a great segue to the weird Facebook conversation I had, which is somebody posted, about all of our military, which all of our military is not overseas. We have a ton of military in the states,
no.
not counting National
Oh no,
Guard.
I know veterans that
Oh.
were getting letters already
Yeah.
that were in active reserve to be reactivated.
And I had
Sean's face.
somebody that posted saying that this is a ruse to get our military over into a war zone over there so that Russia can invade the U.S.
We won't send everybody.
And
Oh.
I'm like, okay, first of all,
Russia's
and
having
this
a hard
goes back
time.
to our Second Amendment thing. Another country is an idiot if they're going to try to march through the U.S. Because
That's
if
why
we
Japan
thought
didn't
that
come.
fighting the Taliban was hard because people were shooting them out of windows, I can tell you where I live, every single house on this street may not all be automatic or something like that, but you get enough people shooting hunting rifles and shotguns.
Beyond that is the fact that there's an ocean on either side of our country and two impotent neighbors to the north and to the south,
Yeah,
both of which are reasonably friendly.
the Facebook post, people were saying, oh, they're going to come in through Canada. They'll just overrun Canada and come straight into the U.S.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen.
I don't,
They can overrun the
And I was-
Canadians, but they can't overrun Canada. Canada is its own force.
I was gonna say.
And it's all like
Um,
mountains and ice and snow. So and moose.
I was gonna say
So-
Russians are used to the ice and
It's not
snow,
bad.
but that's a little bit of further altitude
I've
up.
driven through a lot of Canada during the summer. It's not hard to go
all,
through.
but
Yeah, during the summer.
Been
Right.
to
Well, they're not going
Canada?
to do it right now during the winter.
You-
Canada's all terrain.
It's kind of like in Afghanistan, how the fighting almost always stops in the winter because it's so snowy and it's so hard to pass that nobody can move. But then the fighting comes back in the summer.
Well, oddly enough, the what I've understood with the war in Ukraine, is that the big bugaboo right now is that the spring thaw came way too early, and and the Russian columns are stuck to roads because everything off-road is currently muck.
Yeah.
Didn't that
Was
happen to
it-
them during a battle in World War II also?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it
Where
was
the Russians basically got overrun because they sent so many tanks and everything, but the early thaw, they all got stuck.
I'm not sure that
I
happened to the
remember-
Russians.
I don't know.
Learning about that. Maybe it was
Oh.
Germany.
Well, it's just that whoever was going to attack them would also be attacking with tanks and would also get mucked down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it happened to somebody at some point.
Yeah, it
Agreed.
happened to
Well, I mean-
somebody at some point. I remember
Well, I mean,
learning, I
farmer-
just
well,
don't remember
now
the
Ukraine
details.
farmers are jacking Russian tanks with tractors.
I've seen the clips.
No, have you guys heard of the Ghost of Kiev?
Yes.
Oh. This video. Check this out.
As the Russian military invaded the land and skies of Ukraine, one brave fighter pilot launched in his MiG-29 Fulcrum from his base just south of the capital city of Kyiv,
And that's just
knowing he faced superior numbers and
About that.
firepower. His ground controller gave him range and bearing, and he replied with the information on his radar. Once confirmed, the controller transmitted, "That's your bandit." At that point, the fighter pilot ruthlessly pursued his prey with only one outcome in mind: victory. When he inevitably ran out of gas or weapons, he certainly landed and refueled and rearmed. By the end of the day, word had it he had downed 2 Su-35s, 1 Su-27, 1 MiG-29, and 2 Su-25s. 6 Russian military aircraft bent on wreaking havoc on his Ukrainian homeland. He had become an ace in a day, the first in Europe since World War II. Russian fighter pilots labeled him the Ghost of Kyiv, and today they fear him while the freedom-loving people of Ukraine cheer him and place their hopes for peace in his cockpit. Godspeed, Ghost of Kyiv, and happy hunting.
Yes.
Godspeed.
that's like the Red Baron from World War II.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Red Baron had about
Amazing
70
day.
kills, actually.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to think the different type of plane, though.
You got to remember the Red Baron's first kill was with a shotgun.
I was
This
gonna
is
say it
true.
had to have been harder for the Red Baron because he didn't have like tracking software and stuff like that. He's
The
like,
thing
okay, I
is,
need to
the
get behind
gun-
and then pull the trigger and move up and
No.
down.
The way those planes with the guns work, every time the trigger pulled, the propeller had to stop.
Well, no, they would time it so that
Yeah, they timed it in
the
between.
Yeah,
the gun was knitted into the pistons, so
Yeah.
that
I remember going to an air show and seeing one of them planes, and they were showing, obviously firing blanks, how it would move in and out, and they slowed it down the video and stuff, and it moved out to fire between the props.
so I mean,
And then I guess they would carry hand grenades with them, and since they couldn't drop grenades, they're like, I'm just gonna start chucking hand grenades over this area.
I mean,
well, that they used to also when their bombers, they used to actually have hand bombs. They would just throw off to the side.
although as deadly as the bombers were, their ability to call in artillery strikes was so deadly. So it's so bizarre the way that aviation came to all the world's militaries. They all started as spotter planes, and then what basically happened is they wreaked so much damage by telegraphing in where the positions were and where the fall of shot was. They developed an entire platform of aircraft to shoot down the spotters. And it wasn't
So
until
then they had
later
to
in the
make
war.
planes to shoot at the things that were shooting at the spotters.
Well, and what was it? World War. I know they did it in 2, but I think in 1 is when they started it in England, where they weren't being attacked like directly, but they were sending planes over, doing, like I said, dropping hand grenades and stuff.
Well, they did that in World War One, yeah.
Yeah, that they actually put up a big net with hot air balloons to catch them.
That was World War II. And that
That was
was
World War
because a
II.
lot of the
I
Germans were
thought-
coming in at night, and the cables, if an aircraft was flying and didn't see it, it would just rip the wings off the plane.
Yeah. So.
Oddly
Yeah,
enough,
did
in
a
World
flight-
War One, their biggest worry was actually hot air balloons and dirigibles.
The Air and Space Museum in Washington D.C. has a flight simulator, a full flight simulator. You get stuck in a box, and you have the controls of the original plane that you are testing. So they have like 5 different boxes, and I took one of the types of planes that they would have flown during World War II. That was I don't understand. I can fly like the simulations of the most modern planes, fine. The old ones, I don't know how they fucking took off.
Yeah, this fly-by-wire was a complete game changer as far as
Yeah.
the loading on a pilot, because the damn plane flies itself. All you're doing is telling it faster, slower, left, right, up, down. Not crap. I need to keep track of this, or I'm going to stall.
Well, and they basically just had the engines that we have in our cars too. That was the other thing that floored me when I went to the museum and saw that, and I'm going, "Wait, this is the same engine that's in a automobile, like a car."
Yes.
Like I was expecting, like, you know, a big, massive. No, it's just a little 4-stroke engine.
No, I think what Henry Ford and the Dodge brothers got together for those.
This Facebook thing, you know, eventually I got to the point on there where I'm like, okay,
Just walk away,
hypothetically,
right?
putting on my tin hat, they make it through Canada, they invade the U.S. One of the ways that they'll invade is in Michigan, because we have like 3 bridges that go from Canada. One will blow up the damn bridge, which means then they have to come across the Great Lakes in a boat.
Or Wisconsin.
Well, or they have to go around Michigan, yeah, or before Michigan, you know, New York, stuff like that.
Aren't they gonna run? Isn't that moose territory? Yeah, yeah, that's moose territory. They're fucked anyways. Fuck them. Mooses are weird.
But and then I said, okay, so say they get to Michigan. Michigan has, according to the last census, almost 10 million people. Almost. They figure that 40% of the people in Michigan own firearms. If we get 10%, not counting our National Guard, not counting military coming from everywhere else, if we were on our own, Michigan was just an island, we had no backup, and we had to defend ourselves. I said 10% of Michigan, I said they would still be fighting off 500,000 people.
Well, they would have to get there first. I mean, this is Michigan. The roads, they're going to have to travel in something, and your roads are going to take out far more of an armored column than any weapon that you can field or shoot. Honestly,
It's all that salt.
But I'm saying,
the trucks will just melt from the salt.
they'll fall apart. Their back axles will fall off.
Get all the gangbangers.
Just lay
from,
down all the salt that we have
from
in Michigan.
Detroit.
Yeah, they have to make it through Detroit.
We'll go through
Detroit.
French, they'll surrender.
But then I'm like, okay, so they make it through Michigan. They have, again, not
Then
counting
it's
our military. Not
Oh
counting
yeah,
our military.
Ohio, where soda bottles are meth bombs.
And they
Ohio, the first in flight, the first man in orbit. Come on, people are trying to get away from the planet from Ohio. That's telling you something.
And if say they get into the interior of the U.S., so 10% of the U.S. fighting back, you're still talking, what, 33 million people?
And all the potholes.
And the mountains, and the swamps down south, and
Falling apart bridges. We don't even have to send a Marine across to blow it up. As soon as they try to roll a tank, the damn bridge is going to come down by itself.
Dude, if they get to Florida somehow, they're all dead. They got Florida man and alligators and pythons.
that's
all over the
right.
place.
Florida man's gonna take them out. So, but again, that's the thing. They come into the US, even if only 10%, 90% of the people just do nothing, 10% fight, you're still talking over 30 million people against the army. Just on numbers alone. That's so, but yeah, and then, I put that out there, and of course they come back and go, so you think that you and your buddies can stand up to the Russian army? I'm like, you mean me and my 5 friends? No, we'll get gunned down in a second. I might hopefully take 1 or 2 of them with me. But
True.
you get 33 million people. Now you've got different dynamics.
You,
And actually, if the Russian army's performance in Ukraine's been any measure, actually, you as a private citizen with your interest in just owning guns and they're cool, have probably had way more range time than most of their troops.
Oh, I know. I've had
that's probably a true
way more.
statement there.
Don't forget, I was actually a sharpshooter for the police.
I did not know that.
Hey, there you go,
Yeah, I
Jason.
was a certified sharpshooter.
You're going to Ukraine.
I was a
we are
certified
sending Jason to
sharpshooter.
Ukraine.
I'm certified in an MP5. I'm certified in an AR-15. I'm certified in a M16.
Okay. I'm gonna send a message to Kelly. Hey, we're sending Jason to Ukraine. I hope you're okay with that.
Sadly, she may be. I don't know. How are you guys?
You know what I would start doing though, if they came though, is I would raid and get all of the OC pepper spray I possibly can and figure out how I can make bombs of OC. Because you think tear gas is bad? That has nothing on
Dude,
OC.
get
on pepper spray.
M80s. Dump them in the M80. Toss the M80. Fireworks. How do you think that shit got passed around the first time?
That's the other thing in Michigan. Michigan legalized fireworks. Everybody's got M80s now. I've got a bunch out back. It's fun on 4th of July. Actually, it's fun when I have to dig a hole because I'm like, oh God, I don't want to dig. Oh, wait a minute. Scares the hell out of my dogs.
Oh man.
Of course it does.
Or you know what else?
Most
Me
animals
and my
don't
buddies
like
used to do
fireworks.
this. Do you ever shoot tannerite? Have you ever seen it?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so much fun.
Oh my God! You take tannerite and you pack it into a coffee can, and then you shoot it, and it is just a
Oh, no.
huge plume.
No, here's what you do in
of
Michigan
fire.
with the tannerite. You leave a couple abandoned cars like on their travel path. You put the tannerite under the hood, just open enough to where you can hit it, and then just wait. They come cars. You'll take out the whole damn squad.
Or at least, well, like I told you, to beat them, like you don't. If they invaded the U.S., we don't have to beat the army. We have to make it high enough cost for them not to want to be here.
Well, that's why the
And that's what the-
Japanese
that's
during
what
World War
the-
II didn't.
Height of cost,
Right. That's what
Well,
that's
that's
what the Taliban did to us, and look,
in World War II, that's why the Japanese didn't come past Hawaii, because they're like, everybody's got a gun. We wouldn't make it past the coast of California.
Well, actually, the reason why the Japanese didn't is they didn't have a ship that could do it.
Well, this is true too.
The Germans had
Well,
added to the thought, and it was mostly in the German tactical planning, which was
so Chase brings out his little knife.
My dagger.
nice.
Whoa,
Um,
hey now.
but I thought it was a. I'd have to go back and find the quote. I thought it was a Japanese general that did say that there's a gun behind every window.
Yeah, it was a German general.
It was a
I thought
German
it was a
general. Not a
Japanese.
There's a
Japanese.
gun behind every
We'll
blade of
figure it out.
grass.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So. Okay, I think we beat that to death.
Oh, we beat that one.
Yes,
to
you
death.
guys did.
Well, hopefully they can solve Ukraine and get that done and over with. But
We'll
So,
talk about it again next week when new
Of
information
course.
comes. Yeah.
We all were wearing.
everyone ever thought about stealing a crossbow?
Not stealing one, I own one.
Yeah, I mean,
My heart's
what
all a
would
quiver.
be the wrong way of stealing a crossbow?
First off, I don't know why you would steal crossbow in the first place.
I don't know.
Somebody tried to
Florida?
bolt with it.
Have you seen some of the crossbows at Jay's? Holy cow, they're awesome. I want one, but they're like $3,000.
Yeah, no. That's why he stole it, or they stole
So
it. Actually.
yeah, so Florida man is stealing crossbow by stuffing it in his pants.
I don't think
Please tell me he had it not. Please tell me he had it not.
Please tell me it went off.
How
'Cause
big
that would
is
just
this
finish-
crossbow? Because they are like this. I don't know. They're a good substantial
Can be-
size, I guess.
He can be
That
seen
is him.
shoving the weapon
Stick
down
it
the
in
front of
his
his
damn
trousers before walking out. Amazingly, he made it out of the shop, but was arrested a few days later in the parking lot of a nearby store.
Huh?
Oh,
My thing
yeah.
is,
Why?
25.
Just
one, he
why?
is wearing gray sweatpants. Gray sweatpants is Homan pants.
Is that
Chase,
a video?
go
Is that
down in
a
the basement
video?
and grab my crossbow from down there. I'm gonna show you guys how big a freaking crossbow is.
Oh
that
no,
a
I
video?
have a crossbow. I'm getting one.
Oh,
I
but
know
the
how big
others
they
won't.
are.
But yes.
Well, Ryan.
That's why
is
I
that a
want one of the
video?
$3,000 ones, is because
Hmm?
they're like
Is there a video?
tiny.
Is that a video?
Yes, there is a
It says
video. Hang on.
25 seconds. Oh,
I'm not sure how long it is, but let's see.
It said 25 seconds in the
Hold
corner.
on, I will. Let me turn on
You
the
just
audio.
put it on the screen. Yeah.
Wait for it.
Did you find it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's freaking heavy.
I know it's heavy.
Really? Is that a crossbow?
He only
in
got
your
the
pocket? Are
front
you-
part
Yeah,
in
it's
his
just
shorts.
close.
This is my dad's crossbow, so. Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
Dropping.
He had a cane there and was hobbling out. So, mad respect. Actually, that was kind of clever. I mean, stupid, but cleverly stupid.
Is that
Yeah,
a
so
crossbow
okay,
in your
so
pocket, or you
with
put it
Jason's
out?
crossbow there, so basically the dude took the front where the band was, stuck in his trousers, and then let the arm of it go up the side of his shirt, and he closed it over with his jacket, and then put a crutch under his arm.
Okay. So this is the size of a crossbow on me.
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty substantial. Like,
Yeah,
okay, now try to
I
sum
think
it
that's why
up.
he's wearing the
Putting it
sweatpants.
this way.
And
Here's it compared to a 10-year-old.
it's almost.
it is the 10-year-old.
most of my
Yeah,
body.
it is. The
It goes down to my knees.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
this
because
thing
it is you. You are the size of a crossbow, Chase.
This thing is heavy.
I
I mean,
mean,
these aren't tiny little things. Like, I like hunting with it, but it's
Oh,
not
okay.
nearly as easy to maneuver in a blind as like a rifle is.
no.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead and put it back. Don't cut yourself.
much.
All right. That's-
I don't think I can lift it to get it back in the case.
So, and by the way,
He
here's
didn't have
the,
a quiver. He just only had the bow.
Yeah, I didn't even have the quiver and the bolts on there. So that's what the bolt looks like when it shoots and it hits the target or the deer, whatever. These things open up, these razor blades come out, and it makes a nice hole about quarter size in it.
Dad, can you help me? This won't fit on the thing, and also I think it's too heavy for me to lift.
10-year-old
now that I think
struggles.
about it, if we're at war, I might be taking this with me also. This is quiet.
It is very quiet.
And I still get about 100 yards out of it.
There you go. All right. So
You're
the next thing I'm going to talk about is
Chase more than me.
always remember to check your onions.
they do grow if you leave them for long
Well,
enough.
no, because instead of onion, they could be a bag of meth in the shape of an onion.
Oh, well, I don't know what that's
Authorities,
like, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. And
if it doesn't
my
look,
chakra
if
string.
it's the shape of an onion, but when you cut into it, it doesn't look like an onion, then it's probably something it
there
shouldn't
it
be.
is, right there.
No rules, just right.
I don't know. I don't even know what meth actually looks like. So I don't.
Oh, you guys want to see something?
Don't cock it.
No.
Don't tell me you've got
Yeah,
meth.
do that.
Yeah,
I was gonna
no.
say what you have.
Point the
meth
camera.
somewhere?
Look at what you have to do. Have you guys have crossbows, right?
I'm
Not
getting
officially.
one, but yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Chase, grab the camera and point it down here so you can see how you have to cock it.
Oh, I already know how to cock it.
So to cock it, I have to put this right here, this on the string because this thing is so strong. Pull it.
Yeah, I hope you don't like lock it, because then you're gonna get an arrow to fucking undo it, dude. You don't
Yeah, I
want to
know.
dry shoot.
Yeah,
that.
it just we can YouTube somebody
But,
doing
I
it safely on the
just wanted to
field
show you
as
before I
opposed
put
to
it away, like-
America's Funniest Home Videos where you put a bolt through your foot.
Jason's gonna be. Oh yeah, I'm gonna
already
cut
did
this
that with a
section
nail,
from here
so-
if he blows out his foot and send it to America's Funniest Home Videos.
already
Jason, you're
put a
gonna win
nail
me
through his foot,
$100,000.
No, I have decocking bolts if needed.
Just so you
With
know,
our
you're
little
about to win me
plastic bolts.
$100,000.
Hey, there's a lady on here. Don't talk about your cock and bolts.
Hey now.
That was probably the best.
I will.
Okay, so anyway, you were talking about
Meth.
Meth.
Meth and onions.
Meth and onions.
Wait a minute. So they have one every zip code like the Methodists, or
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
Wait,
Meth it is,
So
but
they
in
changed
San Diego, $3 million worth of meth was hidden within a shipment of onions.
Now that does
Border
look like
Patrol
a hell of a
seized
lot
it.
of meth. The one thing I will tell you,
Enough to
and
make you
I know this
cry.
from both working in the news and in law enforcement, whenever they tell you 3 million, 5 million, or whatever it is, those are almost always inflated numbers.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, but if you ever get an onion that doesn't look like an onion, it's probably meth.
I still
I
don't
have
know
to
what
admit,
meth-
the person that came up with this, I wonder how many times they sent it
Give him
through if it
credit.
was the first time, because I'd imagine at least once it had to have worked, because that looks like it would,
Definitely have worked.
yeah, like that conceals it pretty good, unless a dog is.
So here's
sneaking.
the second.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the second picture, like in the tubs.
Yeah.
That looks like a thing of onions.
Yeah, you
'Cause
pack
here it is.
that into a bag of onions, one
Yeah.
or two, a few of them with a bunch of onions around, and a bunch of vidalias.
Yeah, you wouldn't even
yeah,
think
at a
twice.
glance, you wouldn't. And closer,
I mean, it's got the orange on there for evidence, so mind you, it
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
So-
certainly they probably went through every bag, was dumping it out, trying to find what was an onion, what was meth. So,
Right, but I mean, did it say how they got caught?
Did they just cut open all
authorities-
of the
It said
onions?
Canine Unit for Customs alerted. Okay, so it was a dog that found them.
Yeah, probably the dog alerted on a bunch of other things that day, but
Yeah,
they just
I'm
ran
still
into.
amazed how
They
good
said the
dogs
packages
are
of meth
sniffing
was
that
more
stuff
than
out, because
100
to smell that through the smell of onions-
1,336
Wow.
pounds,
And
or
onions
606
are-
kilograms, estimated at $2.9 million on the street.
and
Yeah,
then of
I mean-
course all that smells like onions.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they're not looking for the smell for meth. It's all about taste. I don't know if it's gonna taste like onions.
I don't know. How would you know
I've
what
never
meth tastes
tasted
like,
meth, so I
Ryan?
wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Me either, because I'm a 10-year-old.
the tastes of meth.
Meth, being a 10-year-old kid has nothing to do with tasting meth. It's not like alcohol that you can get it when you're 21.
It is.
It's
a-
illegal, and bad and awful. And if
I
you
know.
do it, I am
I know.
okay.
Wow.
He's just
Just,
saying.
ladies and gentlemen, Dad scolds child on the air. All right. I saw this one this morning. We have a new Bonnie and Clyde duo, it looks like, from North Carolina, and they got caught in Maryland, it looks like.
Probably for speeding.
I'm gonna.
If you've never driven through Maryland,
I
Oh.
lived in Maryland. I know.
ugh,
She looks like she's had the shit kicked out of her, though.
And she hasn't slept.
Yeah,
Maybe she did
Yeah.
that.
she's got some.
Maybe
she's got
she did
some-
meth.
Yeah, she's got some ligature marks on her neck. It looks like her face is a little rosy, so that could be from lack of sleep. It can be from cold. It can be from a fight.
Meth,
Meth.
yes.
Meth.
meth.
Modern day Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, I
Don't know
guess
why,
they
but-
So
didn't
were they
do it,
robbing
but-
banks?
No. Retail theft.
Oh, Bonnie and Clyde never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They were solely going
course.
after banks.
I mean, unless they needed like a wardrobe change, then yeah, I could see where they would want, Bonnie and Clyde would do retail theft, but
I
I can
Now,
tell you
this is
stories
something
and stories about all sorts of theft at where I worked.
well, they had a
You're
okay. So they got caught in Pennsylvania while stealing also at a stolen 2020 Buick Enclave from North Carolina. So they stole a car to go out and rob other shit, and they were using airsoft guns, a Sig Saucer and a Glock style BB gun and airsoft gun and a rifle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chase, go get your airsoft. I mean,
I already have.
If you take the orange tip off, I wouldn't know the difference from a
Mine
distance.
doesn't. When I got mine didn't even have an orange cover.
Here's my pistol.
Yeah, you take this orange tip off,
I didn't. Mine doesn't
wouldn't know
come.
from a
Mine never
distance.
came with an orange
mean,
pistol.
it cocks back the magazine.
Yeah.
The only thing that you could do is take this off, and then if you could see,
By the way, because you guys are looking, what do you notice that's doing really well right there?
Oh,
What's he
his
doing with
fingers
the
off
finger?
the
Hey,
trigger.
get off the trigger.
He is off the trigger. It's
Oh,
my hand's on the side of it.
yeah, it's good trigger control.
It's what my dad has taught me.
I saw.
I could.
Yep.
The way I was seeing it on my angle, I couldn't tell if it was on or off. So I was just with caution.
Oh, trust me, this summer when I took him out with the AR, I was like hyper vigilant with him. I'm like, that finger doesn't even go below the slide. Like it stays above the slide the whole time.
Actually, I need to.
So
put my
he's
hand on.
getting really good at his trigger control.
And
Now he's young, so we're still working on barrel control, but he's getting better at that.
You want to show them my AR?
Do a barrel roll. Oh wait, sorry.
yeah.
No, what I'm talking about, barrel control, like when we're out hunting and you accidentally flag me. Because he doesn't realize when he turns to talk that where he turns, his barrel goes with it.
Yeah.
It's a skill you have to practice to get used to it. It's not something I'm yet to find somebody that it just comes naturally the first time.
It's like when you
All
tap
right.
on somebody's shoulder from behind and they look the direction that is tapped on. It's like that.
Yeah. So I know when I was his age, my dad was really vigilant, barrel control and trigger control. And then I get into the police academy, and we had a bunch of people that have never touched a firearm in their life, and they get done shooting, and they go, "Hey, I'm done." And it's like, holy crap, dude!
Be like, don't.
It's like
shoot
Police
me.
Academy.
Like police academy. Yeah, who's that one guy that shoots the shotgun and then turns around
Yeah.
at everyone?
Everyone panicked except for the training officer because he stood there because he's like,
No,
I already
it
know
was
it's empty.
Tackleberry. The training officer
Yeah.
went down. It was Tackleberry, the gun nut.
yeah. He because
and
he knew the
he
shotgun was
already
empty.
cock. But and then Another one, Chase. Okay, while I'm doing, you have to get recertified every year, and I'm going to tell you a little secret. Most police officers never touch their firearm until the week they have to get certified. So when somebody says, "Oh, he's a good shot, he's a police officer," officers are bad shots.
What
Because
about you?
I was a good shot because I like going to the range. That was my hobby. But a lot of the guys that I was with, especially the older ones, they're like, got my gun anyway. So, you know, I need to do is brush up the day before so I qualify, and that's it. But one of the guys who was forced to retire after this, should have retired about 10 years earlier at least, did his shooting, barely qualified. He loaded a full magazine. So our magazines were 12 rounds. Magazines. 11 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber.
11 in the clip, 1 in the chamber, yeah.
Yep. You only have to hit 5 to qualify at 21 feet. That's it. And so he barely hits the 5 on the silhouette. Finger on the trigger. Puts it back in his holster. Shoots straight through his calf, down out his heel.
Ooh, that hurts.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave a mark.
Yeah. And I'm on the other end, so I heard it. I heard the screaming. I look over. I see the blood. I didn't know exactly
What
what
happened?
at the moment it happened. I just heard bang, scream. Everyone's running to him. I, of course, run to him. We're trying to hold him down. He's still got his gun and he's waving it around. There's another round in there. I end up the barrel of the gun because I couldn't grab anything out. That thing was freaking hot because he just shot now 6 rounds through it. I grab the barrel of the gun and hold it straight up until somebody else can peel it out of his hand.
Yeah,
And then
because
he
at
takes
that point,
me
he's
again.
not thinking about what's in his hand. He's only thinking about his leg now. So he's, you
Yeah.
know, gripped.
But he's literally
Shot.
finger on the trigger, waving it at everyone. Holy
Like,
shit.
Yeah,
So-
he should have retired.
Yeah. So, yeah, so whenever I hear someone say, well, they're not trained as good as police officers, I'm like, yeah, don't give police officers that much credit. Trust me,
Depends on where they are in
that
the world,
actually-
technically.
a regular civilian that cares about actually carrying his firearm and wants to train and wants to is a lot better than most police officers. So,
Is that why they have
Right.
dogs?
is that why what?
Is that why they have dogs instead? Because dogs are more proficient than.
Dogs are awesome. Dude, I love when the K9 unit comes, or Kane, not comes. When the K9 unit came and take him down, I'm like, I don't have to put my hands on them. I don't have to take the chance of getting hurt. Let the dog do it.
Yeah, the dogs do all the work. That was like the best episodes of Cops when they're like, "We're gonna release the dog. You better come out." And then they release the dog, and the guy's hiding in the dark, and he's like, "Ah!" because the dog got him. I was like,
They did it. They did it on Jackass.
I've seen that before where like we know where somebody's in an area because he had no way of leaving, but he's hiding. And we're checking under stuff and we can't find, most of the time we find them. So, you know, I'll call back and ask for a K9. And that K9 is so well trained. Like he's never on a leash. He stands and sits right next to the his training officer the whole time. And then he just goes, okay, search or whatever the command is. I think he says some stuff in German, evidently, so that he doesn't accidentally say it in normal conversation, I guess. But
Yeah,
the
you don't
commands
want to
are
be casually talking, and then your dog
Is it
attacks
talking about
Yeah.
somebody.
German Shepherd or-
Yeah.
Actually, it was a German Shepherd, yes. So yeah, and then we've been searching for like 45 minutes, couldn't find him. This dog is like, oh, he's over here, and he grabs and he'll grab the pants and.
I love the
and
episodes of Jackass when they do it with Jackass and they're running in the full suit. The one time the fucking dog grabbed Johnny Knoxville right by the junk.
Oh.
Oh!
Well, and they're also trained not to bite down hard unless they get a command. So they'll bite and they'll like latch on, but they won't actually like bite down hard enough.
That punctures.
Yeah. So the canine, like we were hanging out one day and he was telling me that. I'm like, no way. He's like, oh yeah, put your arm out. And he gave him a command to hold, I think it is. And the dog jumps up and he grabs a hold of my arm and he pulls me down, and then he tells him to release me, and he releases me, and I had a couple indents, but that was it.
Then
I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
But most people, that's enough to scare them.
Yeah.
You know, because the dog basically grabs them, and that's just enough, probably of a deterrent to get their attention in the dark.
Every time I've seen it, I've never seen him actually have to maul someone or anything like that. For the most part, once he gets onto somebody's heels, the person just stops.
Well, he has to go.
So there was one time a person, we were chasing after him, and the dog was running right by us, and he gave the command for the dog to get him. And so whatever the command was, the dog was supposed to circle around and stop him. So the dog ran around in front, and as he ran around in front, I saw the guy reaching back for a firearm. And thankfully, I was able to catch up to him and control that firearm before he could get it out to get the...
Yeah, one time when I was manager at Petco, and everybody, brings their animals in, and one of the police officers brought in one of their dogs. I mean, he had the best, so everybody would know that was, the canine unit, and the guy came up to the front, and normally we're allowed to greet dogs, which obviously I see the police officer, I'm not going to, go to greet their dog, and I was all like, are we, I said, am I allowed to, pet your dog, your service dog, and he's like, no, we don't do that because they can't do that. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to, but I was all like, are they allowed to have treats? Can I give a treat to you to give to him? And he had actually was buying treats for the dog.
Yeah,
so,
at least in our department.
The dog, they got the
in our department, the canine, because he was a certified, which sounds strange, certified officer. We're not supposed to interact with him like we would a pet. Only his trainer can, or only his officer can, because outside of work he lives with him, and he is a pet at home. So during work he works, but then he goes home with him, and I was talking to him, and he said he sleeps on a dog bed, on a little dog mat. He eats food just like you would feed your normal dog. The only difference is he will actually sit and wait for the command to be able to eat, unlike my dog, which is trying to push me out of the way to get to the food. He's the only one that can give him praise and everything.
So basically, Ivy.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, not to be outdone with the Bonnie and Clyde in Pennsylvania, but I'm told that there's a big unsolved robbery going on at IKEA, and the police are still trying to get the pieces together.
Yeah, like
he's the king of the
jigsaw.
Yeah, I got that from the
Ryan,
first
your
part.
video left.
Here's a question before we go to that maybe you guys can answer. Speaking of Bonnie and Clyde, are there any modern stories of a bank robbery? And I'm not talking just grab the till and run, but like an actual bank robbery that the person got away with it? Because I'd imagine that's really hard anymore. Between, the alarms, the witnesses, the cameras, everywhere, getting license plates, all of that it'd be hard to get away with that.
I don't know. I know the bank across from the Toys R Us that me and Ryan worked at. We couldn't go to the bank that day because somebody thought that there was a bomb, and the bomb unit came out with like the little robot. That's what we heard.
That was
But-
entertaining.
Yeah.
When I was
I
in
remember
Oregon, our small town bank got robbed, but the guy was caught like 45 minutes later.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about robbing banks, but yeah, I don't know if anybody would go
Are
to
you
do
sure,
that now.
Ginger?
They all
You
have
look like
bulletproof
somebody who would
glass
rob a
anyway,
bank.
or at least our banks do.
And they put the
imagine
dye
you'd have to
packs
do it
in.
like-
And Sean to be the getaway driver.
I'd imagine we'd have to like set up, not we, whoever did it, would have to set up like the Joker did in The Dark Knight Rises. No,
Or
Dark
like he
Knight
had
The
a,
Dark Knight, not The Dark Knight Rises.
or
Yeah.
like he has
Yeah.
a
Batman
bomb.
Returns. Is it Batman Returns?
No.
The second
Dark
one
Knight.
with the Joker with Heath Ledger.
No, that's
The
Dark
Batman
Knight.
movie with the Joker. That really narrows
Well,
it
I
down.
mean-
No, there's-
I meant what
well,
of
it's
the
like
Dark
3 of
Knight
them
trilogy.
right now. No, it's
The one with
it's
Heath
the
Ledger.
Dark Knight. That's the second one.
Because it's Batman,
Batman
Begins, The Dark
Begins,
Knight, and then The Dark Knight
Batman,
Rises.
Dark Knight, and then the last one is Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. So I'd imagine you'd have to set up something like, that Joker did
Or like
with the
he-
buses and everything. And
Didn't he escape out
I'm
of
looking
a
forward to the new.
hospital
I'm
at
looking
one
forward
time
to
and
the new
blown it up?
Batman. What that comes out next weekend.
Yeah,
Man,
next week, yeah, I was going to say The Batman.
the Batman.
Okay.
there's already been people that have gone.
Anything
through
else, or you
early-
want to get
Oh.
the video?
The El Batman.
El Batman.
Batman.
Bamanto.
El Batman.
All right. Anything else, Ryan, or we want to get to the Karen?
We can get to the TikToks. We'll do the last two are just whatever, just fillers. But yeah, we can do the TikToks now.
Okay. Go get the milk and a spoon. This is my Karen video of the day.
Some guy in a car, and now he's videotaping me.
Because this
Because
is
he's
unlawful.
hitting me. Ma'am, he's running me over.
No, I'm not.
Ma'am, hurry, please hurry. Mike! 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 Mike!
Mike.
Yes,
He's
please.
going for some guy named Mike.
Ma'am, I don't know, and he's a lunatic, and he's videotaping me. Ma'am, please hurry.
the law.
Mike!
He's just holding on to
You
the phone.
are, you're in trouble.
How
You're
so?
going to jail.
How so?
You're hurting me.
How?
You just ran over. Ma'am, please hurry. He just ran over, and he's still moving. Please, ma'am. Please hurry. I'm gonna start. Stop.
Me out.
Hurry! 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 He
Ma'am,
ran over me! He ran over me!
she's saying I ran over her.
He ran over me!
I have the whole thing on recording. Sir, come on.
No, you're good. Hey,
This is unbelievable, man.
good. We just heard it on the radio. The cops are already coming.
Can I
This kinda
please go?
You can't. The cops. Are
I
over there
can.
now.
I absolutely can.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you. If you
I
the
want him
cops are trying to
arrested!
come-
I want him arrested!
I have done nothing wrong.
She's still walking away from the car.
He's walking away just fine.
I am. I have done nothing wrong.
Oh my God, ma'am! You got
Tell her to move out of the way.
Oh my God!
He's got a boat attached to the back of his car.
He's gonna make you run over you too!
A bull?
A boat.
A boat.
She walked
mean-
over and said that he ran her over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're not
But
seeing the
again,
setup, so
Yeah, I got to follow
So
up.
get me out of
I mean-
here, but I can't leave, right?
Oh, look at her so hurt by getting
Oh man,
hit
she
by that
fucking
car.
hightailed it.
She sprints away.
Yeah, she was run over so bad that she ran.
Makes no
Yeah,
sense
okay.
unless her finger got ran over.
And
Oh, please tell me this is the continuation one.
I can, yeah, they don't have more video of this, but I was able to find the story on this. So this guy was trying to leave the park. He was out boating on the lake. He was trying to leave, and if anybody that's like been at them state parks or national parks, I think it's a national park, trying to find your way out, it's like all one ways in and out and stuff, and sometimes you take the wrong, you accidentally take the end. So as he was trying to leave, he turned the wrong way, ended up having to go right back through the whole park to get out. Well, she saw him, all she saw was him coming through her gate, turn around and come back out, and she thought it was suspicious and she needed to stop him. As she stops him, she started yelling that, it's illegal to be here. You can't be here. I'm calling the police. And he's trying to tell her that he's trying to leave. While she was on the phone with 911, that's when he started recording because she was screaming at him that he's vandalizing and all this stuff.
And running over her.
And then she started saying that he's running over her. He ended up leaving this incident about 2 or 3 miles down the road. He gets pulled over because she made the 911 call. That's what the police do. They pull you over if you leave. And he showed the police officer the tape. The police officer said that there was no probable cause to make any arrests or citation. He was free to go. He did nothing wrong. Went back. She got cited for improper use of emergency services, and she ended up losing her job at the National Park Service.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's when.
Well, yeah, she's sitting there like lying to 911 on the phone.
But the thing is when I watch something like this and a lot of these Karen videos, is if you're not videotaping it,
there's no proof.
Like, he would have had nothing on his side. It would have been his word against hers.
And she would have won.
And she had that 911 tape saying everything that he did.
Yeah.
That's the scary part of something like this.
You always need to have your phone on.
So, I think I'm getting to a point.
That's the way it is nowadays anymore.
Just searching all.
No, putting up cameras all around my car and
seeing if there's.
I'm gonna put like a video camera, get like one of them Google glasses, so that I can video record everything.
Well, and they don't know.
I don't know if they'll know. Those are pretty thick glasses. Have you guys seen them Google Glass? They like stick out to here.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
I've never seen one, so.
But
they were only in a test market.
Just because now that I'm watching all of these TikToks and YouTube videos of these Karens, I'm going, man, I need to start having a recording on me at all times. Like, I just need something hovering above me at all time.
When I was at my cousin Lena and Clara's birthday party, Uncle Chad let us Blake drive me and Noah around his two-sider.
Oh, it's side by side is two-tracker.
And when I got off, it was Noah's turn, and apparently when they came back, they ran into a Karen, and she said, like, you can't be here. There's kids on the road, when nobody was on anywhere. It was just us outside. And she said, you have to get off right now. And then they just went back to.
Yeah, Uncle. That Karen tried to tell me I couldn't hunt on my brother's land. She's a. No. Okay. TikTok.
See, Australia is not that dangerous. Our spiders are courteous enough above our headline. So unless you're Shaquille O'Neal, they're not going to bother you, really.
No,
I didn't need to see that.
Nope, I'm good.
I love it. I love it. I love spiders. I love it.
That again, another reason not to go to Australia. As much as I want to visit Australia,
Don't go there.
I have a lot of reasons not to go there. And those spiders that
And
are,
also because those spiders are also in your toilets.
oh, God.
Yeah, no, I'm not the fan of the spider. I have house spiders, the little ones, and they're fine. We're
Yeah, you just give them a sock and they're free.
yeah.
Well,
No,
another reason
anything-
why you
No.
Another reason why you don't want to go to Australia is there's also one of the most poisonous spiders in the world there. It's called the Black Widow.
No, the Black Widow's in the U.S.
Yeah, we have black widows.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like-
we have Black Widows in the U.S. Funnel spiders are really dangerous down there.
I think they have 7 of the world's 10 deadliest spiders on that continent.
Yeah.
Well,
They
all
have
spiders are
some of the
poisonous.
deadliest snakes, too.
And
And
they
let's
have
not forget drop
koalas with
bears.
chlamydia on them.
With chlamydia.
Yes,
With STDs.
yes.
With
Drop bear.
chlamydia.
Drop bear.
How'd you get chlamydia?
Oh,
Drop bear.
baby.
I swear, honey, I wasn't cheating. I got attacked by a koala.
I don't think koalas are hostile.
Oh,
Yes, they are.
Ryan,
Oh.
They are very hostile.
Chase doesn't think. Ooh,
I've
see if
never
you can find,
seen-
see
I've
if you can
never
find
seen
a
a video.
YouTube video
I've-
to play for him
I've never seen a
of
koala,
a koala
being
bear
hostile.
attack.
I've never
I'm gonna
seen
message
a koala being
Simon
hostile.
to send me a video. Hey, I need a video of a koala
Okay.
killing somebody.
Okay. Next video.
What you're witnessing is the human version of holding down the power button for a factory reset. Phase 1 begins by forcefully blowing into a syringe like you're trying to poop your pants. By bearing down like you're trying to get a kiss from Poseidon, you raise the pressure in your chest and decrease the blood flow back to your heart. Now for phase 2, a modified Valsalva maneuver, also known as yeeting the patient. When you lay the patient flat and raise their legs, you stimulate the vagus nerve, causing a drop in the heart rate. If you look closely at the monitor, this patient's heart rate's above 190. He has a supraventricular tachycardia and abnormally high heart rate. But using this modified Valsalva maneuver, that heart rate begins to drop fast because of parasympathetic stimulation.
Ah, yes, a parasitic stimulation. Just
Yeah.
What he said.
Never knew what that was until I saw this video.
and I've watched that video and I still don't know what that is.
Still don't understand it.
It is called
I'm actually with Sean on this.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I watched that whole thing and I was like,
They just figured out a way to make somebody pass out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, didn't we used to do this as kids when we'd like hold our breath and push, where you make your head all red and everything like that, and then
Yeah.
somebody lays you down and all of a sudden you're out.
but that's also when you don't want
Yeah.
to touch the part
Flatliners.
either. Doing something like that.
And that's also when you wake up with the forehead full of Sharpie.
Yes.
Yeah. But now,
Hey,
now
what-
all of
what's
us and
worse-
our
what's
listeners
worse than
know
having
if
a,
your heart rate is really high,
Just do the yeetus
go blow
deletus.
Poseidon and then fall backwards.
Just go yeetus deletus.
So if you fall asleep and you get a penis drawn on your head, you know what's the worst thing about it? Finding out that it
You
was
had a
Trace.
penis on your head?
I've drawn
I was
enough
at a party
penises on
this week,
heads.
fell asleep, and they drew.
Now,
I don't know if they drew a penis on their face, but they did draw on their face. Well, they had to go to work the next day at Toys R Us, so they didn't draw the penis on their face, but they drew on them.
when I was in college, okay, I'm an athlete, guys
Yeah.
are
Kind
a
of.
bit crude, so to say.
A
And
little-
I wasn't the one that
little
did this. I was
up
just
there.
a bystander watching.
Okay.
So, one of the guys on our team passed out at a party.
Oh.
2 other guys on our
Fatal
team,
mistake.
one decided to teabag his eyes, and the other person traced. So he put the balls in the eye sockets, and the other person traced the ball sack. And
I can already see where
they
this
took
is going.
video of it because when he got up, he had no idea what that was. When he looked and he goes, "Why is somebody draw under my eyes in permanent marker?" And they went, "Oh, because of this."
Oh man.
Yeah.
And remember, this is not the least bit gay.
Nope. It's
Nope.
it's college sports.
Teabagging is not considered being gay.
No.
I'm not
It's a
gay. My
hazing
boyfriend
ritual.
is.
It's a hazing ritual.
Hey, I'm not gay, but
And not
$20 is
gay.
$20.
Oh, really, Ryan? Here you go.
Wait, what?
I got.
$1 bill.
Yeah, I've got a $1 bill in there. What would you do for one?
Here,
Not a
I'll
damn
grab
thing.
something in my room.
No, Chase, you don't get $20.
No,
No, that's not.
$100.
Priest is giving confession, and
$100.
and a buxom
I
young
don't
lady
wanna
comes
feel
in
like-
and says,
No. There's too many wrong jokes. I don't need to go down this road.
I know.
"All right, we'll just simply leave it with the aristocrats."
The aristocrats.
That needs to
You
go
guys couldn't
away.
even make it 20 seconds into that video of the aristocrats. Okay, stop.
All right, next.
Next.
Just watching a little bit of Jurassic Park, so I hit it with the, oh, clever girl.
I thought it was Predator at first.
Yeah, I was thinking
Oh,
more
nope,
Predator.
that's
Yeah.
That's the raptor.
I see.
That's the raptor. Yep.
I see Predator in that.
Nope, that's definite. The
That's
predator's
correct.
higher pitched.
Yeah.
Faster. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
But that's definitely the raptor. And am I for the guys in here? Am I the only
That's
one
from
that
Jurassic Park? That's
Watch
not from
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
World. That's from Jurassic Park, the very first one.
Yeah,
That's
the
Jurassic
original. It's
Park.
when they were in the kitchen.
No, that was
In the-
when the hunter was taking them on. He said clever girls because one was distracting where another one put his
Oh,
face
that's
to the
right.
grass.
The one was doing that in front of him, and then the one came behind.
Yeah.
That's what he
right.
said, clever
Yeah,
girl,
that's
as he
Jurassic
before he
Park.
got his face chewed off.
And now here's
And
my
then it's
question:
like-
if I'm the only one, I'm okay with that. Am I the only one that found that a little bit hot?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish
Oh,
I.
yeah.
I'm not saying that simply because my wife is also here on the chat.
Even if my wife was here, I would still tell her that was hot. I'm sorry. I would apologize.
Mom
but-
would kill you.
No, she wouldn't.
Clever girl.
It's vegan
we know
because
we know
it's strawberry milk and not like cow milk.
Oh God,
You said something while this was going.
sorry.
Restart it.
Strawberry cum.
Yeah, watch. Gotta watch and listen.
It's vegan because it's strawberry milk and not like cow milk. You know what I mean?
How do you milk a strawberry? Or maybe that's where the cum comes in.
That is
No,
that is the great
it's vegan.
quote
It's
from-
vegan milk because it's strawberry milk and not cow milk.
But
I
where
want you
does
to
the milk from the
Show
strawberries
me
come?
a tit on a strawberry.
I think it's all one
Here.
big tit.
I have cow milk,
Then it's
not
juice.
vegan. Here, I have Hershey's strawberry syrup.
You just made vegan milk.
And now I am making vegan milk.
Can you imagine God's like looking down on us? I gave them 8 freaking animals that make milk, and they're making milk from nuts? What is going on?
Yes.
I now
I
have
agree.
vegan
Oh my God.
strawberry milk.
So
You drink it
to
because I
show
can't
the
drink
ranch,
milk. I have to drink my
I was talking
I have
about
to drink my
earlier
milk
with you
from
guys.
nuts.
They do make plenty of jokes about almond milk because it's a cattle farm they're on.
There's oatmeal milk now too. It's made out of oats.
No,
Thing?
no, no,
Nice taste.
no. That's just liquid. That's just liquid wheat.
Just saying it tastes exactly regular.
It tastes like regular milk,
A little bit.
But it's vegan milk.
but it's vegan.
It's vegan milk now. It magically transformed into.
You better not spit milk all over
juice.
my computer
No,
and my microphones.
I see Chase has now been banned from the computer room. Oh, dude, he just
Liquid.
he just biffed that up his nose.
I had lemonade come out my nose once, and noodles. Yeah, it wasn't very fun. I was laughing so hard. And
I remember going with Richard to a Caps game, and beer came shooting out my nose.
Oh, that hurts because it's fizzy.
Lemonade hurts.
I done that with Coke.
No, you know what really hurts is when you go to take a shot of whiskey and it you laugh as you're taking the shot and it just makes it through that soft palate.
Sean goes, I know.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Okay, you know what really hurts coming out your nose? Vomit, because I've done that.
I've not.
I mean, I don't know if I've actually had vomit go through. I've had like runny noses when I'm throwing up.
If you lean over while you're throwing up, like one time I threw up and I was leaning over the toilet so I would make it, and I leaned over so much it came up out through my sinus, through my nose. So yes, if you lean over far enough, you can, as you're throwing
I
up,
believe
it will
that
go
was
up your
Sean's
sinus.
Now that you told me that, I want to try and do it.
No, don't try it.
No, don't try it. No, it sucks.
No.
It's just like
No.
it burns.
Take this as learn from other people's mistakes. That's how humans evolve.
Wait.
We
Did your
learn from
son
other
just
people's
ask,
mistakes.
I want to vomit
well,
out
if
my
you don't-
nose?
If
He wanted to try it. He said,
if
"Yeah, I
you
wanna
tell
try
a
that."
kid don't do it, that just gives them the urge to do it.
Okay, here's the thing. We know not to walk in front of a train because somebody else has walked in front of a train
and died.
And it didn't turn out
I don't know. I've walked in front of an
Don't
18-wheeler and
walk
I
out.
somehow stayed alive. So let's see if it happens to him. No, don't do it.
Well, then he must be Toby Uchiha.
Oh, I don't know if you guys heard this. The CDC, and I know Michigan just complied with it. CDC is no longer recommending, or the Department of Education is no longer recommending masks on bus.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
And then, thank heavens, because people have been like protesting about. Oh, wait.
But at least it was. Well, the wrestling season's over, so it doesn't matter. But you want to know how annoying it is to go from a wrestling practice where you're nose to nose with the guys, you get on a bus. And because of the law, you have to put a mask on, and they record where you're at in case somebody gets COVID, only to get off the bus and wrestle and be screaming at each other with no mask on, all in a tight group as we all put our hands together. And I'm going, so what's the point of this bus and recording things?
Makes no sense if you're doing
Like,
something else in a group.
even right down to with wrestling, it was in Michigan, the wrestlers couldn't shake hands before and after a match.
But you're wrestling.
just
You're
seems
literally
dumb.
holding the other person.
I'm seeing heads about to explode.
Sean's face just it looks like he just ate a lemon and his face just sucked in.
Again, to minimize contact with COVID. To minimize contact with COVID, the wrestlers, seconds before they literally go nose to nose with each other, are breathing and sweating on each other. They can't shake each other's hands. But that second later, they can grab each other's hands.
That, to me, that just doesn't make sense that you can't shake each other's hand at the end or start of a match. Then you wrestle.
I know. I know. That's the point.
Yeah. It's like, really? Is this necessary?
But now, like I say, with the restrictions, my wrestlers no longer have to wear masks on the bus.
Hooray.
I mean,
Are they still allowed to shake each other's hand?
I don't know. States.
Yes, as long as
the
they
state
have a
was
mask
yesterday,
on.
so.
Oh man, I thought it was a
Okay.
rubber glove.
No,
They
States
had
is
a
this
condom
weekend.
on their hand.
States is this coming weekend. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Next one.
A book of don'ts for wives from
This is for you. You know who it is.
1913. Don't vegetate as you grow older if you happen to live in the country. Woman is not a cow.
Don't vegetate as you grow older if you live in the country. A woman is not a cow.
Brood. That way madness lies. If you catch yourself brooding, take a day off. Go out and gossip with a friend. Get to the theatre and have a laugh. Don't grudge your husband his little luxuries, his cigarettes or his pipes. Who has a better right to them than the man who earns them? Don't be discontented and think your husband not manly because he happens to be short or thin and not very strong. Manliness is not purely a physical quality.
I feel like that last part where it says short and not skinny, I feel like that's me.
You're not short and skinny, trust me.
And you're 10.
And you're 10.
Yeah.
True.
And you're actually
And you're
bigger than guys in high school.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
so remember,
I'm not sure I have much.
don't deny your husband his little vices
Luxuries.
or luxuries. Sorry, his
Luxuries.
The
little
little
luxuries.
vices are kind of kinky. We don't talk about that.
His little luxuries, because he's earned them.
Like cigarettes or cigars because he earns them.
I think that's a good point there. Also, when was the last time you went to have a laugh at the play?
Never.
Do we?
I was gonna say I don't. I haven't
Does your
really-
wife? Does she play?
Like,
Does she?
I just
Does
have
she?
to
Wait,
remember
wait, nudge, nudge.
Next time my wife is brooding, I'll tell her, go out and gossip with the girls or have a laugh at the play.
I can't even remember the last time we went to the movie theater. And that was before COVID started. I couldn't even tell you.
Last time me and Dad went to the movie theater is for Ghostbusters or
No, we went and saw Spider-Man.
Ghostbusters or Spider-Man.
Oh, I
But,
found that I got an AMC gift card for my birthday in 2020, right before COVID started. And I just now found it when I cleaned the living room. And I found a Pikachu Target gift card. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's money on this.
I was going to say, do the cards expire? Like, do
No,
they have like a
no.
1-year expiration?
No,
No.
most of them don't.
Dude, I had an
But
AMC
I
card
have-
for like the last 5 years, and then we finally went and used it. It was still there.
Yeah. Yeah, I have
Wow.
like $25. And I'm like, sweet. Now I don't really know what to see because it's so expensive. I'm like, that's like not even one ticket.
Diary of Abraham Lincoln. Oh. Martha is insisting on going to see this damn show. Somebody shoot me in the head.
From the back of the head.
But before that,
Just shoot me in the back of the head. God. What was that play? It was
My American Cousin. Our American
My
Cousin.
something. Yeah. And what's funny is John Wilkes Booth wasn't actually in that play, but he was at that theater. He did work at that theater. So
Oh,
I
if
guess
you
he
go-
was a really
if
from what I
you-
learned in my theater history class, he was a really popular actor. Really popular.
if you go to DC, you can tour the theater and the museum, and then they take you across the street to the house that he died in, and then they tell you like the whole story from like start to finish. It's really cool. So yeah, we went one time, me and Sean, and we did the museum and the tour, and I learned all the stuff, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. It was really cool actually to learn the stuff about Lincoln, but they didn't mention anything about vampires. So
I know, I was disappointed.
I don't know.
No, that they keep that on the DL. You know, do you think they're going to talk about all the vampire hunters we have?
no, I
There's
guess
actual
not.
vampires?
Could be. We don't know
Sure,
because they
kid.
won't tell us. The fact that they're not telling us that there's vampires is proof that there's vampires.
What about you? You can never you always have a migraine during the day, but at night it's mostly gone away.
It's not gone away. Trust me, I still have the migraine at night.
But
so
you
it
know they're a
keeps me up.
vampire because they sparkle.
Oh no,
Dead
that's
devil.
only in
God.
the Pacific Northwest. That's only in the Pacific Northwest that they sparkle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got to get my facts
I
straight.
feel like I should test the theory if you're a vampire by getting a wooden stake.
You want to kill me to prove I'm not a vampire?
I'm joking.
I don't care who you
Oh
are.
my
You put
God.
a wooden stake through somebody's heart, it's gonna kill them.
Well, what if
Okay.
it's a red, meaty, juicy steak through their heart? I mean, does that count?
Eat enough of that, it'll kill you too.
Just
Yeah.
At
slap
least
it.
that's what my doctor keeps telling me.
Well, just
If
cut
it's
off some
raw,
of the fat, you'll be
I
all
think
right.
it would kill you. But if it's cooked, I don't think it would kill you.
Not what my doctor said. My doctor told me stop eating all the meat.
I only eat meat.
I know, me too.
Well, protein.
That makes no sense. My life is a lie.
Okay, last one.
What does a snowstorm and a blind date have in common? I don't know. You don't know how long it will last or how many inches you'll get. That's not funny.
It's a little bit funny.
I love her. So,
Well, you know, that's why women aren't generally in the trades, because they've learned that this is a foot.
that's right. I make sure my wife always knows, you know, a foot. Yep.
Chase
Anybody
is
that
looking at
asks.
you like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I can't say a foot. This is somewhere between 9 inches or a foot, depending on
My
the day.
teacher always told me from this part of my finger to this part of my finger is an inch.
Oh yeah, yeah, roughly. Your distal, radial. What the heck is medial? The medial bone in your fingers. I live with an X-ray tech, so
Don't question it.
I've learned names of some of the bones.
No, I shouldn't have.
Evidently, you have over 200 of them, and she knows them all.
206 actually.
fingers. But now I can't remember.
206 to be exact bones in the adult body.
Yeah.
I've also learned some stuff from mom.
You know what I learned when I was in school?
What?
The head bone connects to the neck bone. The neck bone
So-
connects to the bone underneath. That bone connects to the hip bone. The hip bone connects to the thigh bone.
So if you have troubles in your head that hurt, like your migraines, that would affect your whole body.
It does affect my whole body.
Actually,
Wait. Did you just say if you have tribbles in your head, you'll get a migraine and it affects your whole body?
No. I said if he has a migraine in his head,
Get closer.
if he
just
has
remember,
a migraine in his head, then it would affect his whole body, and that's why he can never stand or sleep at night.
and here I thought simply because my nose runs and my feet smell that I'm built upside down.
You might be.
True.
How fast does your nose run?
Not fast enough to catch my refrigerator.
Another one.
Well, you know why? It's because you still have Prince Edward and a can on top. You got to let him out.
Now I hear actually Head and Shoulder branching out. They've got a body wash now called Knees and Toes.
Knees and toes?
Oh, I heard about it.
Head, shoulders,
Knees and toes,
Knees and toes,
eyes and
knees
ears,
toes.
mouth and nose.
I am not high enough
Is
for
this
this.
a pun battle right now? Is there going to be a war against
I was
you
waiting
two?
when I said knees and toes. I was waiting for him to come back with yes, knees and toes, so that we could keep the thing going. It just
Sorry, man.
But we're gonna keep going. Yeah.
All right.
We need to rehearse something like that so we know. All right, I think that's it. Any last words, Ryan, or anybody?
I don't have anything.
us.
I regret that I only have 2 hours to give to this podcast.
Pun war.
Okay, go ahead and land us.
All right. Well, real quick before I do so, remember, Fire Talk Radio is the show. Our website is firetalkradio.com. Our email address is firetalknetwork@gmail.com. Our voicemail is 814-380-9820. Please check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, iHeart, Google, and so forth. Download us, leave a comment, check us out on YouTube. Shows are live when we are recording. But so in event of failure, just remember, landing our plane takes footwork. Please remember, everybody, please put your feet down like Fred Flintstone and put a hard pass to the landing runway. And have a good day. And again, see you next week at Fire Talk Radio.